Hi, Coach Burrows, traveling the basketball coaches road with you. Last episode, which was number 11, we discussed how the 1936 gold medal Olympic basketball team, the team winning the first of the 17 Olympic golds that USA basketball has brought on, how the coaches were head coach Jimmy Needles, assistant coach Gene Johnson. But on this Olympic roster, it allowed for 14, but only 7 players in the book per game. So they broke up the 14 into 7 players on one team, 7 players on the other, and then they alternated games. I had hypothesized that with 2 teams, the official head coach, Needles, took one team, the one that was dominated by his AAU players, Universal. That's the team that had won the tournament and the right to represent the USA at the Olympics in 1936. While his assistant coach, Gene Johnson, ran the other team, which was mainly his AAU players of Powerhouse McPherson, who had been selected as the runner-up. After I posted, I found this book by Andrew Moranis, where on page 175, the 2 teams had nicknames as they rotated games. And it was Needles who coached the Sure Passers, since it was dominated by his Universal AAU players, winning games 1 and 3. Coach Johnson won games 2 and 4 with the team dubbed the Wildmen, who were mainly McPherson players. So the 2 men did split the head coaching of the games, but it did not change the fact that Coach Needles was and remains the official head coach, and Coach Johnson was his assistant. Then there's another portion of that story from episode 11 that connects the great Pete Newell. Newell's biographer writes, Newell played basketball under Coach Needles, who would be the most important influence in his coaching career, because Needles innovated help side defense, which means all of us coaches have borrowed from Needles. The prevailing style of man-to-man defense all the way into the 1950s was an open gym sort of, you got yours, I got mine. You stop yours, I'll stop mine. If the ball was on the left wing and there was an offensive teammate on the right wing, the defender of the right wing person would not move into the lane like today's help. He would stay out next to, or what we call today, hugging his man. Minimal or zero help. With the dominating thought being, if I leave my man to help you, mine is going to score. Coach Don Donaher was a player at the University of Dayton in the 1950s. His coach was Tom Blackburn. Coach Donaher said, if you got beat, Coach Blackburn would pull you out, sit you down, maybe never ever to return to any game again. He didn't talk about help defense. He talked about guarding your man. According to Newell, his coach Needles was the first to figure out how to help, but still cover, with emphasis on don't overhelp. That's almost as bad as underhelp, which is true today. And it's especially true today because of the three-point line. If you keep getting a collapsed defense so that the person penetrating can throw inside out to spotted up shooters, it is really devastating to your defense. Newell followed in his coaching mentor's footsteps by being a national champion at the University of California. He was head coach 1959. Also, as an Olympic gold medal winning head coach. The 1960 team is revered as the first quote-unquote dream team. That title is now in association with the 1992 team that won 8 games in gold. Jordan, Magic, Bird, etc. But 1960, Oscar Robertson and Jerry West were the co-captains of a superior amateur team. That team went 8-0, winning by an average of more than 40 points per game. So dominant was Coach Newell's team, the entire unit has been inducted into the Naismith. Newell, as their head coach, credited Needles with most of his success. Later, Newell would become well known to people my age and maybe a little bit younger as the creator of the big man camp. He taught back to the basket moves, the often ignored, intricate footwork involved with it. One thing Newell stressed, he said his key to bigs in the post with their back to the basket. He called it read and react, which we know is an offense today. But he was talking about read and react. The way you read is upon catching the entry pass, and your back's to the basket. He wanted his man to turn his head, look at your own basket, because then you will see the defensive coverage. It's not just feel. It was also vision. So you had to see in front of you and behind you and then make your move. Newell taught hundreds of players like Olajuwon, Walton, Sam Bowie, guards too, Magic and Kobe. The list of over 250 participants over the years is easy to find with a Google search. Pete Newell Big Man Camp. His charge for this camp is amazing. The entrance fee was $0. The fee was get to the location in Hawaii and give it all you've got. Give it 100%. Going with a shorter segment today, so next post is coming soon. You're on the Coach's Road, where basketball coaches travel, along with passionate hoop enthusiasts. Coach B, over and out.